Hello guys, this is our today's tutorial. I haven't showed you the yarn I'm using, check in description. We'll be starting with this back of our piece. Let's dive in. Make a loop, enter your hook in the loop and make a chain of 60. This is my chain of 60 and you're going to add 2, 1, 2, come into the third loop from the hook and work a double crochet. Then go back into the same loop with a double crochet. These are our 3 double crochets. You're going to skip 1, 2, 3. Come into the 4th loop and work a single crochet. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th, work a single crochet. Wrap your yarn, go back with 3 double crochets. So this is how we are going to work on the rest of the chain. You're going to skip 3 loops, 1, 2, 3 into the 4th with a single crochet and go back into the same loop with 3 double crochets. And again, you see it's already pretty. Skip 1, 2, 3 into the 4th, the single crochet, 1, 2, 3 with a single crochet into the 4th and go back with 4 double crochets. I'm going to work the rest of camera. I'll meet you when I'm at the end of the chain. I'm getting to the end. Put 3 double crochets. So at the end you should have 4 loops left, but I have 3, so I'm going to create a 4th one. That means in the beginning you should chain 61. Or chain 60, add 3. So I'm going to create my 4th loop. So I'm going to double wrap my yarn around the hook, come into the last loop, pull through the way you work a triple crochet, so like that, and then work a double crochet. That's how I created my 4th loop. For our next row, you're going to chain 1, 2. That's like your first double crochet. Turn your work in the very first loop, this very first loop, enter 2 double crochets. This is second, so to a total it's 3 double crochets. You're going to wrap your yarn around the hook, then come and skip 1, 2, come into the 3rd double crochet, this one, and work a front post stitch. Then chain 1, go into that space, the one we were using a single crochet in the beginning, and work 3 double crochets. then the third double crochet, then wrap your yarn again, skip 1, 2, come into the third double crochet, put a front post stitch, then chain 1, go in the single crochet you created and put 3 double crochets. That is going to be the way of working this stitch for almost the rest of the pieces. You see, again, skip 1, 2, 3, make a front post, then chain 1, work into the single crochet with 3 double crochets. You're going to work this until the end of the row. I'm going to speed up my part. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm getting to the end of my row 2. Make a front post in the third double crochet, chain 1, work 3 double crochets in the single crochet, then don't chain anything, just come into the last loop and work of the piece here and work a double crochet. So this is the second row of our piece. Third row, chain 2, turn your work, that's your first double crochet, wrap your yarn going to the very first loop with 2 extra double crochets. So that's a total of 3 double crochets, and you're going to keep doing the same thing like we did. Wrap your yarn, skip 1, 2, 3, come into the third loop with a front post stitch, then chain 1. You're now going to work in this first space, this one next to the front post. Work 3 double crochets, not the front one but this one. 3 double crochets, then wrap your yarn, go into the third double crochet of the cluster, 1, 2, 3, make a front post, then chain 1, go in the chain 1 space and put 3 double crochet, now this is how we are going to work the rest of our piece. Make a front post, then chain 1, go in the space with 3 double crochets, and then wrap your yarn, go again in the third double crochet, make a front post. You're going to continue doing this for until the end of this row. So I'm at the end, chain 1, enter the loop, 3 double crochets, and after this you're going to skip this, come in the very first loop at the end and put a double crochet. You're going to keep working the piece using the same version until you have a total of 34 rows for size small, and then you have 38 rows to 40 for size medium, and then around 45 rows for large. I'm going to work mine off camera. I'm going to speed it up. I'll meet you when I have my 34 rows, since I'm working on size small. I'm at the end of my very last row of my back part of my piece. Come put a double crochet in the very last loop, chain 1 and cut off the yarn. So my back area is ready. This is it. I'm starting on the chest pieces, so you're going to do the same thing you did with the back piece, but you'll just work to a total of 16 rows small, 18 to 20 rows medium, 25 rows large. So I'll meet you when my pieces are ready. So this is the first piece ready. I stopped at 16 rows. Do the same because they have to be 2. So my pieces are all ready. This is the back piece of a total of 34 rows. I'm working size small. And then this is the other piece of a total of 16 rows, and another piece totaling to 16 rows. So we are now going to start working on attachments, creating the arm spaces and the rest. I'm in creating my arms. Count 8 clusters. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Attach your stitch marker, or you can count the loops. Just make sure they're exact because you're going to crochet them together. So bring your needle, remove the first stitch marker, come in the very first loop. Just make sure your loops are equal, and put your needle and start crocheting, because we are in the process of creating the arm space. You're going to work loop to loop, that is each loop of this piece to the loop of the back piece. I am going to fasten this part because I've showed this in a lot of my tutorials. When I'm using a needle to attach my piece, you can also use a slip stitch, but I find the needle more cleaner. I'll meet you when I've reached the stitch marker. I have reached the stitch marker. Remove it, and that's it. But I would really recommend you take measurements. We have different arm sizes. Some of us, we are small with bigger arms or bigger muscles, and some are small with small muscles. So do something that is comfortable to your fitting. Then after cutting off the yarn, you see how clean it looks from the outside. This is my outside part of the piece. This is the inside. So we are going to touch the upper part as well to keep the arm space. So come on your piece, go on the upper part and attach them together. On this part of the piece, you're going to crochet half. So there were 16 rows for small. You're going to divide them into 2, and you'll work only on 8 rows. I'm going to fasten this part as well, and I'll meet you after I have joined together an approximately 8 rows. This the same thing this side. I'll meet you at the end. I am at the end. I'm going to remove the stitch marker. I put my last stitch, lock off this part, and cut off the yarn. So do this on the other side as well, and we'll proceed with our piece. I have mine already made. You can actually rock this piece just the way it is right now, but yeah, I just want to continue with it. We are now going to work on the arms of our piece. Make a loop and chain 70 for a size small. This is my chain of 70. You're going to join it together with a slip stitch. Like that. Then chain 1, 2, that's like your first double crochet, and start working a double crochet all around the chain. Our first row is getting done. Come and slip stitch in the very first loop. This is row 1. Then you're going to chain 1, 2, turn your work, and go into the next loop with a double crochet. You're going to work a total of 8 rows of double crochet. Not to keep this video too long, I'm going to meet you when I have 8 rows of double crochets. I am done with my 8 rows of double crochet. Now you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, work a skip loop, double crochet, skip this loop into the next with a double crochet, chain 1, skip this into the next with a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 loop into the next with a double crochet. So you are going to work that. I'll meet you at the end of the row. And I slip stitch. I'm at the end of this row. Then chain 1, 2, 3, 4, turn your work, and again work skip loop, double crochet to a total of 3 rows. I'm going to meet you when I have 3 rows. I'm trying to limit my video being too long, so meet you there. So I'm done with 8 rows of double crochet, 3 rows chain space, then 8 rows double crochet, then 3 rows chain space, and then this is 1 row, but I ran out of yarn. I'm going to attach 2 other rows with this different yarn, like here, to make a total of 3 rows of double crochet, and that's where we'll stop from with our arm, and the other one you can work off camera. I'm changing color because my yarn is running out. I'm trying to balance with this new yarn I have, but you can maintain the same color. You can switch, work your piece with different colors if you want to. So I'm going to work and I'll meet you when I'm done. My 3 rows of double crochets are ready. Make a slip stitch. This is it. You're going to chain 1, and cut off the yarn. We are now going to work on the ribbing, which we are going to do separately and stitch on it together using a needle. Make a loop and chain 35 for small, 40 for medium, and 45 for large. My chain is ready. You're going to slip stitch from in the very first loop, and you're going to chain 1, 2, and work a double crochet along the entire chain. My row 1 is done. You're going to enter in the very first loop and slip stitch, then chain 2. You don't have to turn your work, or you can turn your work if you want to, because the ribbing works for either sides. Come into this next loop and work a front post, then wrap your yarn, pass from the back to work a back post. Make a double crochet. We're using double crochets. Then the next, work a front post, then a back post. If you're not so sure on how to work this, since I seem to be fast, you can go and search on it on YouTube or Google it, how to work a front and back post stitch. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm getting done with row 2. I'm going to work a back post and then come on top of the very first chain 2 we made and do a slip stitch. Then chain 2. You don't have to turn your work, you just have to make sure you work on top of the front post. You work a front post, the back post you work a back post stitch. So you're going to keep doing this until you have a total of 4 to 5 rows. Then I show you what to do next. I am done with my rows, my preferred rows. Chain 1 and cut off the yarn. So we are going to stitch this onto the arms. Now we are going to use our needle, tapestry needle, to attach them together. You're going to work like each 2 double crochets into 1 row of the double crochets on the ribbed piece. 2 double crochets here and 1 the other side. So come enter the very first loop, whichever you want to start from the corner, but I prefer my messed up parts to be together. Come enter in the loop this side, pull through, and go into the next double crochet and enter into the same double crochet and pull through. Then go into the next double crochet and enter into a next now loop. You can do 2 2 or you can do 3 3, as long as you keep them balanced. So I would recommend you first do the math, see how many loops are on the hand, how many loops are on the ribbed piece, and then you do the math and know how many to enter, how many double crochets to enter into the same loop on the ribbed piece. I am done with this hand. I'm going to work the other one off camera. I would please recommend you attach yours too. And now we are going to stitch it onto the piece. Come pick your wrong side and start. I like to start from the underarm, and make sure you're working from the wrong side of your piece. Enter your needle, pull through, and start attaching the pieces loop to loop. I'm hoping that before you made the arm, you counted how many loops that were on your piece so that you were able to balance the loops for attachment. I'm going to speed up this part as well, and then I'll meet you when I've attached both my arms to the main piece. I have my arms attached to the piece and we are almost done. Make a loop. And we are now going to come and work just to clean up this part with this different color. Like I said, I ran out of yarn, so I'm trying to balance the new color on my piece. Enter in the first loop, pull through and chain one. You're going to start working a single crochet all around. I'm trying to cover these insides to reduce on the cleanup I have to do at the end. I have reached by the collar area. I am going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to chain one and cut off the yarn. So this is it. Do the same thing on this other side of the piece as well. I have done mine off camera, and we are going to start ribbing the lower end. So chain 1, 2, work a double crochet, first enter in the very first loop. So in each double crochet you're going to enter twice. I like to use the very first base of the double crochet too. Then in this space you're also going to enter once and then twice. If you notice how I'm doing it, it helps me not to keep them scattered in a way I don't like. So I enter the double crochet, I enter the loop attached to the double crochet. I enter the space like this, then I enter the loop attached on top of the double crochet. So that helps my double crochets to align proper. So work it all around. I'm going to meet you at the very end here. I am getting done with my double crochet, and I'm going to show you our next row. We are going to do the same ribbing we did on the arm area to a total of 5 rows. So chain 1, 2, turn your work, wrap your yarn, go into the next loop. In the next double crochet, do a front post, go to the back of the double crochet, do a back post, Then going to the next with the front post, just like we did with the arm ribbing. You're going to do this to a total of 5 rows or 6 or 7, considering that your choice, your preferred choice, but I'm going to do 5 rows. I'm going to meet you, just to keep my video a bit shorter, I'm going to meet you when I have 5 rows of the ribbing. I am done with my rows. I'm going to cut off the yarn, and damn, these color blends actually go well together. I'm in love. Our piece is almost done. I'm now going to do the ribbing by the neck, because I want that, should I call it the Dracula style of the of my collar. So make sure you check if you're working in the right corners, if you're working from the wrong side of your work, and then you turn your piece to that. So let's work on the collar. Get your yarn and make a loop. Come on the very edge and enter your hook and pass it through the loop you have created. Pull through, chain 1, 2, and start working a double crochet from that very first space, single crochet space, and then do the same thing like we did. In each double crochet, put 2 double crochets in each space. So I'm going to meet you at the end of this collar, because I'm trying to make this video not so long. So you're going to do the ribbing again, but to a total of 10 rows for your neck area. I am almost done. This is our first row. You're going to chain 1, 2, turn your work, wrap your yarn, go into the next with a front post, then back post, then front post. So you're going to do the same ribbing you did on the hand, on the lower piece, this same ribbing until you have a total of 10 rows. So these are my 10 rows and I'm really excited. You can make it as long as you want. If you want, you can do 8, you can do 10, you can do 12, you can do 15. It's up to you. But me having issues with my yarn running out allow me to end it on this. I can't wait to see your versions. Please tag me after you've made this piece. Wow. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are so amazing. You motivate me to do new stuff all the time. So cut off the yarn. We are going to work a string that we are going to pass through our sweater or our cardigan. I already have mine made. I can't show this because you already know how to work a string, so work yours as long as you want. Come into these spaces and pass through the strings. If you want, you can actually use buttons or a zipper, but I want to go with the string. Our cardigan is ready. Make sure to like this video, share, comment, and give it a thumbs up. Love you guys. Bye.